So, dear friends, we had just a panel on open data for the cities. Now we're done with the discussion panels, and it means only one thing, that we are getting to the more celebratory part of our forum, and there are two ceremonies that we're about to have. So, the two ceremonies, just a little bit of history for someone who is still not aware about it. So, we had the second round of Open Data Challenge this year in Ukraine, the international format of the competition of innovative projects based on open data. The project has been launched in 2017 when we had more than 170 applications from all over Ukraine. When we had 10 finalists, after the incubational program, there were 3 winners that were selected who have had 1,500,000 hryvnias as the prize fund. So this year the project has even more scale. We had 35 projects out of 190 applications that have been selected. 20 of those have been in incubation, and they have improved their business ideas. So, and today we're going to have the conclusions out of it, and we will find out what are the winners of the second Open Data Challenge and who will have the prize fund of 2.5 million hryvnias. Katja, you came up in a very good timing, so at the phrase of 2.5 million hryvnias. So I would invite Yevgenia Klapa, the head of the 1991 Open Data Incubator, and Pavlo Radchenko, the operational manager of the Eastern Europe Foundation. Please welcome them on stage. Thank you very much, and we're pleased to welcome you at this final of the second cycle of the Open Data Challenge based on the open data. So basically today you have already heard many different cases, many different news, many different presentations on the open data sphere in Ukraine and from abroad. We have shared the international experience with you, and now we will have the opportunity to get introduced with the projects that are influencing our country, that are influencing our state, that are helping the people and the communities, and also that are influencing the economical impact and economical development of our country. But they took a long way to come here. For 3 months we have been collecting the applications. We had a lot of online and offline events. We had more than 190 applications coming up. We had more than 35 interviews. We have invited 30 teams for an intensive weekend, and for this intensive weekend for 20 teams there was no more joking, because they've got to the incubation stage. In the 4 months incubation program in our incubator in 1991 and Open Data Incubator, together with mentoring support with the experts, our team have tested their hypotheses, they have worked on their ideas, they have written the last lines of code in these days for their projects. And as Pavlo has said already, we have selected 20 teams for incubation, and today we only have 15 presentations in place, because this way of 4 months is not that easy, as you might see, and not all of the teams reached us to the final moment, and it is a very normal process. It is something that shows us the dynamics of our movement. And today they're going to present their services and their products for the first time to the general public, and I would like to once again tell you we'll have only 3 minutes for the pitching of the project, and our guests and our acknowledged jury, they will have no possibility to ask their questions, so you're going to talk to the teams during the coffee break personally. And so let us come up to introduce the introduction of the jury. So Maxim Darkin from the USAID, UKAD and Hugh Darris. The State Agency on E-Governance, we have Alexander Zhanko. Eastern Europe Fund, Viktor Lach. 1991 Incubator, Denis Gurski. Sorry, Denis. Katerina Oniliogu from the TAPES project. And Viktor Lach again from the Eastern European Foundation. Yeah, we have to do it twice. So I think we are all ready. Our teams are ready to start. So I guess it is high time for us to start. So the first project would like to invite you, Detox Ukraine and Janina Basista. Hello, my name is Jana, and I'm coming from the most polluted region of Ukraine, and I would like to tell you about the dream of our team. What we are dreaming about is Ukraine to be the country where the health and life of every person is the highest value, where the plants are not only producing something that is important for us, but also they're complying with the best standards of ecological safety. Why do we need it for? First of all, it's beautiful, and on the other hand, we want Ukraine to get off the rates for the death rates for the cardio diseases and other diseases, because the International Healthcare Organization has already referred that bad environment and environmental pollution are the main issues because of for these problems to appear. The experience of the developed country, that the activity of the civil society has helped to improve the ecological standards. That is why we would like to offer a new product for Ukraine that will help the people to get together. Detox Ukraine is an interactive online map of more than 11,000 sources of pollution. According to the address or geolocation, you can find out whether your home is situated in the influence of the industrial plants, how your pollution influences your health, and what to do to protect yourself. You can inform us on the pollution source that hasn't been mapped yet, or the violations by something that already exists. So you can see the interesting statistics on the pollution and on the healthcare. You can also tell your own story on how the environment influences your life, and also join the Ukrainian ecological agents and the actors on the ecological sphere to fight for cleanness. Detox Ukraine has been possible because of the data from more than 30 governmental institutions. Most of this data has been opened already. Some of this data we've been generating on our own, using the databases of the European Union. And also because of the Open Data Challenge, when we came to a raw idea, but throughout the incubation we were able to change it into the specific product model. This month we already would like to launch the minimum working site and to scale the project in a year, and that is why we need your support, financial support. Our project is social, so up till September 2019 we would like to have more than 10,000 followers that will help us to get our operational budget of 100,000 hryvnias as an operational budget. We do believe that our project is going to help us to create the demand for high ecological standards, and in 2021 we will already be profitable through partnership of social responsible businesses. Through the time of incubation, we have already contacted the 7 companies for our perspective cooperation, and we have the media support of the biggest Latifundis Agromedia holding. Right now we have 5 highly motivated specialists who have a lot of experience in place and who have all that is needed to reach our goal. Detox Ukraine, let's make a world a better place together. So join us. Thank you, Janina. And I would like to invite Metro Kravtsov, who will give us an introduction to the project Green Wall. So please, round of applause for Metro. So good day, everyone. I will about to tell you about the portal that is called Green Wall, the search platform for looking for safe agrochemicals. So please, just imagine farmer Petro. Petro is just growing apples. He's a usual farmer, and he needs to protect his harvest from the pesticides and diseases. And as all of the other farmers in Ukraine, Petro is facing this problem of protection of the harvest. They need high-quality agrochemicals, so they're not toxic for people and the healthcare, and that are not toxic for the environment, and can also be the reason for corruption or falsifications. So we have had an investigation, and while we're doing this project, 45% of Ukrainian farmers are not aware of the toxicity class of the chemicals they use, and moreover, 73% of the the respondents are looking for the information in the internet, and 78 have highly praised the idea of creating Greenwall portal. So our mission, how we see it, we would like to make the life of the people who are using pesticides and who are using agricultural chemicals to make their life safer, to provide them the free access to the market of all of the producers of the agricultural chemicals, for them to be able to have competition on the equal basis and to mitigate the negative influence on the environment. So what are we doing? We're using open data from two registers, the Register of Ministry of Ecology and Natural Resources and the Ministry of the Agriculture. And all of the additional data that are being provided to us by the producers of the agricultural chemicals and by the farmers themselves. So what we have understood, we have the audience of more than 4.2 million of farmers. The general amount of market is more than $525 million. So the market is in place. So what Greenwall is about? So Greenwall is the search system for finding the safety agrochemicals we can find according to the crop that you need and the producers of all the pesticides that you need. So everyone from the professional from the agricultural services and farmers, then you can order the highly effective agricultural chemical and order it through our system. We have 5 channels of monetization. We have sort of everything. The main channel for us is the dividends from the commercial sales and advertisement. And in order to create this project, we need 438,000 hryvnias. We have analyzed the market of our competitors. We're not the first in Ukraine who are doing this, but we have 2 main competitive advantages. First of all, we are considering the phase of the development of the plant and search according to the toxicity class, which is very important for the healthcare of both environment and the people. So we also started with a raw idea, and in the period of open data, we've grown our project. We have broadened our team. We have developed the design. We have worked with the professional developers. Right now, our team has increased in 60%, and we continue the growth using the new professionals that are now working as volunteers. Thank you, Dmitro. We're out of time.
And the next team, the project of CD Climb, Dmitro Kukharev is here. Good evening. Besides the industrial enterprises, the main reason of the pollution of air... I'm sorry, this is the wrong presentation. So the main reason of the air pollution in the Ukrainian cities are the companies. This is the wrong presentation. Okay, one more time then. So the main problem in Ukraine is connected that people don't have enough of motivation to decrease the waste, the low ecology of boilers, and the lack of any platforms to sell the quotas for the CO2. From the one point, this is the prototype of the device which can be attached to the boilers, and it gathers CO2 out of the gases. And on the other hand, this is the platform where the company which gathers CO2 can sell so-called the right to, in fact, have the emission of those gases. Our business model is the following. We are getting the gathered CO2, we're checking its volume, and we're giving it to the industrial companies the right for the emission of CO2. And we get the money, we award the company that they gather CO2. In fact, the market is really big. In the world, during 2017, we had approximately $155 billion of the transactions. In Europe, a bit less. In Ukraine, our figure is rather substantial, and we should use it. The competitive advantages are the following. We are creating the market of the quotas for the companies which are not taking part in that. We are the first to include the private persons in this market, and we increase the motivation to protect the environment and to decrease the emission of CO2. We came to the incubation program with a small calculator which clarified the emission of the gas. Nowadays we hold so-called conduct the work on the carbon address of the company, and in the future we want to issue the program as for the sales of the quotas on the CO2 emission. Our team can deal with any direction of the development of this product: chemistry, heat technology, IT, and others. We are trying to search for $20,000 to develop up till the end the prototype on the CO2 gathering and to develop the platform which will allow us to decrease the waste emission into the atmosphere. Thank you. Thank you. And we invite to the stage Alexander Karpenko with the program of the Unified Energy Accounting. Thank you. I greet everyone. So, I'm the head of the startup, the Unified Energy Accounting. I do hope that this service will make the communities, in spite of the further results, will make the communities open and energy efficient. What do we begin with? There is an issue. Only 1/3 of the cities of Ukraine is covered with any system of monitoring. So altogether, lots of cities and communities don't have any monitoring in a systematic view in the electronic way, and the cities and the communities are suffering that they don't have the necessary IT tool. At the market there are 7 companies, which has already been checked by the expert reports of the Association of Energy Efficient Cities of Ukraine. We will become the 8th company, the team, and this is undoubtful. The market is rather big, we have the room to expand, and this is the portal of the data which is included with the budget sphere and local self-governance authorities. We are offering a very nice functioning model, the base for the storage of the data, analytics and reports, which are formatted in the Excel tables, which are the state officials get used to, and we are not using only open data, but we generate them in the machine-readable formats. And also we provide the technical support, we give the documentation and papers, organizational support. And how does it work? There is an administrator or manager who is the head of the startup. For instance, that's me, who coordinates the whole activities. There are people who are responsible at the level of the cities. Those are managers, energy managers at the executive committees or the city councils, and the people who input the data monthly, daily or weekly from the devices of any of the facility accounting, whether the efficiency is convenient or not. But we have certain tricks which differ us from the other companies. From different companies, what we do, we are the first one to open the data on the energy consuming in this branch. That means that Ukraine will get the energy balance. Secondly, we have the certification of the state officials. Not a single company does that. I am coming to the community, I train them, I give them the certificate of the state, and everybody is satisfied. And also we have the online calculator of energy efficiency. So far, no one has implemented that, but GIZ and USAID want to implement that. We've got the grant from the Prague Center, so far we have the money to work for, and now we are at the stage of the technical development. We even have 2 regions, which are Donetsk region and Rivne region, who are ready to cooperate with us to input data and to go on to proceed with this work. There is a memorandum with the Association of Open Cities, and it's really pleasant. Those are the indicators of the first city, which we managed to achieve. I mean the efficiency of the energy, and the release will be done, the issue, in October, rather soon. I will invite all of you. We have planned the tour or the road trip throughout the communities. So thank you. Please greet the speaker.
And I would like to invite the next team to join us at the stage, the representative of this team, Valentina Andreyshina, the My City project. Good day, everyone. I would like to start with a question. So whether you are still getting in lines to get a local authority, and how much time we spend to find the information needed to find the best solutions for our everyday life problems, and whether you have ever received the answer to your inquiries from the local authority earlier than 3 weeks' time. So that is why we're here, and we will have a solution to present you with. Just imagine it, a young mother, Nastya, she's now being taking care of her daughter. She wants to take take her to the kindergarten. And also, Nastya would like to do some businesses, and she's really worried whether the playground in front of her house is going to be repaired. And we are going to solve this problem together with her. When she registered at her personal cabinet in our portal, she will find the best way to find the kindergarten. She will also can choose the group for her child and all of the other directions she will be needed. She will have the consultation on her business, and she can also register her businesses when she's going to get to the link for the other resources, and she will have all the needed information about her city. And our portal, Nastya will not have the need to go to the lines or to write the paper inquiries. Our portal is going to reinvent the city in a new way for the residents. It will provide the new possibilities for the development of the city, and the authorities will have the new tool for the effective decisions. The new open data sets in forms of register in the real-time regime, together with the user-friendly links to the services and e-portals, that is something that is going to be an absolutely new communication way between the community and the authorities. This is the first project in Ukraine that can be replicated in the other cities of Ukraine. We have a clear action plan. We had done a lot of previous work. We have the support of the local authorities, and I'm proud to tell you today that yesterday the city has published the open registers of the cities in the real-time regime. And that is why, because we're here presenting this project in the Open Data Challenge, so we've started with it. We need some money, and we're not putting our hands down. We have a very powerful team that combines the experience, the creative solutions. We're sure in our project, we believe in our victory, and let us together open the data in order to have all the new opportunities for all of the Ukrainians. Thank you. We would like to invite Yarina Wozniak, who is the representative of the project Lviv City Helper. Please support her also. Good day. Pleased to welcome you at the Open Data team from the city of Lviv. So how can we be a help for you? So when you get out of your house, and you also have a question when your street is going to be renovated, and if you have this, there are the so-called titled list, and you will see the following picture. Our bot in Telegram is the organic part of the system of the open data that is created for the residents who do not know the specific terms, but have the right and want to know when their street is going to be renovated, what the building is going to be renovated, what is the school that is going to have their kid go into the first grade, and how the municipality works. It will also be useful for the deputies and activists to again consider a lot of things happening, and also will help to get the owners of the data to increase the trust from the general community. How it works. For example, you would like to know whether your school is going to work. You get the educational establishment that you enter the address, and you will see what is going to be renovated. There's going to be renovated of the gym and the facade. Whether my street where I live is going to be renovated, we enter the address, and we can see that part of the street is going to be renovated in this unit. But for example, the Bandera Street this year is not in that good condition this year. For this year, the money for that is not allocated. That is why we would like to offer you to get an e-inquiry or e-petition, to start an e-petition, or to address your deputy commission, for example. What are the competitive advantages from all of the other practices that are now in place? First of all, we're really fast, we're really convenient, and we're really clear in understanding how it works. And by the way, this is the only chatbot in the world that is built on builds on the local open data portal. This is the Open Data Kansas City. We have the data sets of the open data, we have the title list, we have the structure of our district city councils, and we would like to also include additional registers into the work of our open data bot. So we started with an idea. We've created the working prototype with the Dacia sets. For the next week, the following weeks, we're going to have the full-scale launch. Also, we would like to scale into the Facebook Messenger. We would like to work with AI, artificial intelligence, and we would like to create the city helpers bots. So we would like to sell the packet solutions for the cities like CityBot and FloatBot. We also would like to offer the fee-based monitoring, as it already been introduced in Ukraine. What are our needs? So the biggest part of the money we already have in place, but then again we will need additional money for the development of project, for the technical maintenance, and for the marketing needs. You are so you can see our team knows they has the experience of working with it, open data, and has a huge experience in development. So please chat to test out our chatbot, communicate with us, and take the city helper to your cities. Thank you.
Irina, thank you. So as for the following next speech, I'd like to invite first Ivan Plivar, Alexander Plivar, and the project of regulatory map. Good afternoon. I am the entrepreneur for more than 20 years, and that is why I have the honor to present the project of regulatory map of Ukraine. The reform of deregulation is going on for 3 years already. The changes of the rules of the game are going on. Some of the decrees are cancelled, and the special agency, the State Regulatory Service, takes care on the decisions to be as much for the business as possible. But all of that is working only on the central level, because at the local level, the local authorities sometimes are not reviewed for dozens of years, though they can have the contradictory requirements, obsolete procedures, and lots of corruption norms, which help someone to catch the fish in this muddy water. These regulators are more than 10,000. One-third of regulations of the country are for them, and this third of economy is in the shadow, and the business is over-regulated into top 5 of the obstacles for the legal business in Ukraine. So our innovational system will help to solve this issue. I am apologizing. So our innovative system will help to solve this issue, because it will process the open data of all of those agencies and bodies and automatically find the violations in their regulatory activities, which will make it maximum transparent, to involve it into the solution of the relevant questions and finding out the corruption risks of the business and the civil society. The product of this work of our system will be the data of the automatic monitoring, which will allow us to substantially increase the efficiency of the work of the State Regulatory Service and the informational services for the entrepreneurs, and also unique analysis for the business and professional consultancies as for the improvement of regulations and the increase of the investment attractiveness of the regions, which has a huge demand during the decentralization period. During this time, we have been prepared to implement this project with the help of our partners from TAPAS project and the State Agency on the e-Governance. Regulatory data were in the list of the dataset, which should be compulsory published, and our colleagues from the Transparent Cities programs are already monitoring and publishing them, which also influence the place in the ranking of the transparency of the cities. During the incubation, we, together with the TextI projects, we developed the first in Ukraine standard of the set of open data, which has been presented this Tuesday, and now it's officially published. And now we are testing the MVP of our project, which is an application to fill such standardized data, and all of the regulatory bodies will be able to use it. For that, we'll add the detailed guideline, and then we'll implement the module of monitoring, the sales of the first services, and integration into the system of e-document turnover of the State Regulatory Service. And now Mr. Artem Hetman, who will present the project of PlaySeek. Good afternoon. My name is Artem. I'm the founder of the project PlaySeek. It's not a secret for anyone that Ukraine has lots of problems as for the health among the population. The next slide, please. Though, however, half of the factors which influence the health are totally can be managed and governed, and each human has lots of opportunities to preserve his or her health, which is physical activities, the right nutrition, and the lack of any harmful habits. So the social politics has the creation of the construction of the new sports objects, but new football fields and treadmills will never save when the people don't know about the opportunities how to go in for sports close to their houses. We can divide all of the sports fans into the three categories, but we are aiming amateurs and active youth. The lack of information is the main problem, because people don't know about the sports events close to their places, about the rent of the playgrounds, and they don't know about each other. So this application has to unite all the sportsmen and to give the overall information about the sports in their cities. With the help of the application, you can create new and to join the existing sports events. You can search and rent sports grounds. You can substitute the players or maybe to find new ones, and lots of other things. This project can be implemented with the help of the open data which are taken from the register of the sports objects. And also we generate open data which can be used to get the information about the sports in the country. As for the rent of the sports playgrounds, lots of money is earned, but only a little share gets to the budget and it's taxed. So with the help of our service we can control it better and we can gain more money into the budget. Well, of course, we are not the first one with this idea, so now in the world these projects are gaining more and more popularity among the users. As the application is totally free for the user, we decided to create several models of monetization. The market of sports retails is actively developing in Ukraine, and for now it's approximately $700 billion, though the potential volume of this market is 4 billion. With this incubation we had an idea, and this month we issued the first version of our application, and in our social networks we can find more than 400 subscribers. This is only the beginning, of course, and we have a detailed plan on the implementation and development of the new functions for 2 years ahead. Just for now we have more than $40,000 invested in the development of the first version, and we need 55,000 more to develop the first full-scale application. Our team, without the external investments, we were able to implement and to get the support of 400 people before the release of this application. So we are ready to offer the working application. With your help we'll do it quicker and better. Thank you.
So, okay, let's get to another project, Get to Tender, and Andriy Kuzmanko. Just imagine you're waking up in the morning, you're turning your computer on, and the computer will upload the 10 new news that are going to simplify your life. Now, we are the team of Prozoro. We created another project, Get to Tender, that's going to simplify the life of the businesses. The project one, the artificial intelligence will find the 10 best fitting tenders out of 20,000 that are being introduced to the system every week. Prozoro has opened the state procurement market for 500 billion hryvnias a year, 5,000 billion hryvnias of our money. But 20% of the suppliers and counterparts, they leave the system because of the difficulties of looking for the interesting tender. So they take down, the corruption gets bad, the corruption gets bigger because the competition is down. At the very beginning of the competition, we only had the idea of how we can solve this problem, but we have made this idea viral, and so we had the experienced data scientists joining us from the international project. So we created a model where the artificial intelligence is looking for the best tenders for the suppliers. The model uses the open data generated by Prozoro. By the time we have spent in the incubators, our mentors, our colleagues from the other teams, with their questions, with their insights, with their ideas, helped us to move further in our work. We have a partner on the commercial marketplaces, and commercial marketplaces, they're the part of the Prozoro system. They're working directly with the suppliers, and it was a very important stage for understanding the best effectiveness of the project. We have developed MVP. We have tested out with 5,000 suppliers, and these are the effective recommendations for 7 out of 9 suppliers. Introducing of these projects increases the competition, mitigates the corruption risks, and gives you the possibility to manage the state money more effectively. Increasing the competition up to 10% that gives additional commissions for Prozoro in the amount of about 6 million hryvnias an hour. So this money can be used for the further development of the product, which means for a much more transparent and effective system of the state procurements. Our main idea is the broadening for the whole country, scaling into the world market, and this project has already been the driver of development of open data protocols in Prozoro, and also using the artificial intelligence and machine learning for finding the best solutions for the other tasks. The full integration, this project with all of the marketplaces and the production launch will require 4 months. Prozoro is an innovatively charged team that has 5 international awards. We already have the experience of introducing the complex IT solutions. We have the reputation in place that helps us to get the strong players around the idea, and your support will help us to inaugurate this project into life. Thank you. We would like to invite Oleksiy Molchan, who is the representative of Project Prozoro Mayno. Hi once again, my name is Oleksiy Molchan. I'm representing the project Mayno by Prozoro, the only open register of municipally owned property in Ukraine. Why it is important? In Ukraine we have more than 3.5 million square meters of the state real estate is being rented out for 1 hryvnia, and the municipally owned property is even more than that number, but we don't have the clear data of it. That is why we would like to tackle this problem, and we would like to start this register. Nowadays we do feel the lack of this register because only the separate communities have these registers. In the best way, this is an Excel table that are being fulfilled by the civil activists. Prozoro Mayno is going to be built on the principles of the golden triangle of partnership, when the cities and villages will get a comfortable tune to work with manage their properties, the business will have the access to the new object, and the civil society will have the possibility to control and influence the decision-making process. What we are using, the 2-level model that is just corresponding to the principle of other Prozoro products. When we have a lot of different commercial marketplaces that fulfill the same base of information. So what do? We increase the local budget, we are mitigating the possibilities for corruption, we're generating open data, and we're raising the level of awareness of our communities. Our market is the whole municipally owned property all around Ukraine. We don't have the clear data on it, that is why we would like to create this register, but we mean dozens of millions of square meters. So Prozoro Mayno is the only free of charge solution for the people. We can create, based on our database, we can create new solutions, and it will help fully accountable towards the community. We're starting the project with the donor support, and then we will give it to the Prozoro sales project. Throughout the incubation, we have done a lot. So we have already communicated with the marketplaces. We have already started the communication about the inauguration of the project, and we've started the register of the small privatization that is going to be the basis for Prozoro Mayno. There is also the demand for our project from the communities from all over Ukraine, and this is how the object will going to look like at our portal and register. This is the example of the open API. So this is how the objects are going to be seen at our spaces. So up to February 2019, we would like to start with a piloting project. This is our team. We have already have successful in excess of implementing the system of the state procurement and also implementation of the civil activist projects. We need money for the further development of the project, the maintenance and implementation is on location. We are opening the data on the municipally owned property. We were facilitating the access for the businesses for the new objects. We're getting the information on the operation with the property out of shadow in order to have not a single square meter to be rented out per 1 hryvnia. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Oleksiy. What innovations! So the next one to be on this stage is Alexander Lapko, the project of the laws which are simple. Good afternoon. Today I'd like to tell you about the project of the simple laws. You know, coming here, I just went to the underground, took my cell phone and paid with one click. As for the payments, it's super simple and easy. Why don't we have these simple procedures in the justice and in the law? So when we have a certain situation, we are trying to find a certain answer, some law situation on any consultancy. We're trying to find it in Google, we try to search for it, and we get the whole pile of not needed information which is difficult to work with and to make it proper. As a result, we go into our friend or our relative or the consultancy agencies. Who needs that? Everybody needs that, because the simple laws needed are by common people and the companies. But when we have the constant request for the laws, we create the judicial consultancy, because in this flow, the judicial consultancy, you can get the nice result. So now the next slide. Do we have the market? Yes. 30 million of visits to the state websites monthly, according to the statistics, and 50% of the organic traffic and 50% are the bounce rate. That means that people are just leaving the website. So 7.5 million of requests monthly are left without an answer. So the business model of this project is very simple. 5 hryvnia for a commercial request, or if this is 0.25 kopecks for the request, and there is the flow of generation where you can earn 5% more. What's the solution? Is a chatbot based on the semantic analysis. What does it do? We transform the text into a certain formatted a graph of semantic connections and words file, and we search through it. It's working much more efficient than the keyword search. You may tell that there are lots of competitors. Would you show the next slide? Liga Zakon, Open Data Bot, you control, who are doing that already, but we have one difference. This is the algorithm of semantic search. This is the difference which differs us from all the other projects. What's the plan? The prototype, during all of this time of work, we have prepared and processed, and we've also looked at the civil code, and we are getting the data even better than the usual search based on the keywords. But we need to develop it more. We will have to work with the MVP and to go into the market. That is why we need investments. We have the strong team of engineers who are working on that. They're working for more than 1 year together, and they're working fruitfully for half a year. So the main thing I wanted to tell you, just think, this project will allow to transform the laws and acts of Ukraine into the digitalized graph, which will allow to give such an open data which we have never seen before. Thank you for your attention. And the next one is Volodymyr Kopot, who will present the project Monitor Estate. Please support. Good afternoon, my name is Volodymyr Kopot, and I want to tell you about the story about the Monitor Estate. Today, just to buy an apartment in Ukraine is a very risky thing. Even the famous construction risk can have problems, without even speaking about the Lita Center or the other scandals. So we created an innovative service with the help of which you will be able to check any construction manager and company in real time. We're giving the automatic report where you get all the information to take the proper decision. As the base of this solution, we opened the open data because it will tell us about the reliability of the information, because we generate the data from more than 8 state registers. Monitor Estate is created to help all of the people who want to buy the dream of an apartment, people who invest into the real estate, and also the professionals of the market, realtors, lawyers, bankers, and insurance companies, workers and employees. For any project, it's really important to understand the market. So we do understand that not all of the apartments before the contract signing are checked, but 50% of people are doing that through the forums, blogs, or with the help of the lawyers. Just for this active audience, we've created an innovative service which gives the automatic law report, which will help you to understand the potential risks. We know about our competitors and we know their drawbacks. Among them, we can see that the information is not given fully and very often not timely. The advantages of Monitor Estate is that we are rather rapid, we are working automatically, we are truthful because we are using open data, and also we are relevant because our information is relevant at the moment of the request. With the Monitor Estate, it's really simple, quickly, and true. So the prize money will be used to improve the open data in the real estate sphere. We'll develop several new automatic functions which will help our citizens, and it will give an opportunity to achieve social effect. That is, the real estate market will become more transparent, the corruption influence will decrease times and times. For the project, we created the idea and prototype, but during the incubation we validated our hypothesis, we issued the service and got several positive reviews from our users. Soon we're going to connect the Monitor Estate to the big cities of Ukraine. So for all of these times there was an inspired and motivated team working, which has already had lots of in their background and want to make Monitor Estate more accessible. So thank you for your attention. This is for your service.
Thank you, and I would like to introduce our next speaker and a good startup also, the NORA project, and Alexander Tereshchenko. Good day. NORA is the information analytical system about the indirect connections in construction. So our cities are now being turned into casinos. So that is why we've decided that every head of the city or amalgamated community or commercial director, they have to have all the information in place on their phone. That is why we're helping up to compare and to check the experience of your counterparts and contractors, to check the permissions and license of the contracting organization, to find the permissions, to find the violations and the permittive documents. And we've developed the API on the constructions, limitations on the pilot in city of Zhytomyr in order to see all of the documentation in place. How it works, we have the data from the open registers, we're working them with our algorithms, and this is how we receive the knowledge. Then we are mixing up with all of the ready-made solutions that are now presented in place, and with the help of dashboard we will have the possibility to give you the more factual solution. Then built on the machine learning we will have more complex forecasts. Who will need this? The target audience, the cities that would like to have their investment attractiveness increased. The main our help is the providers of the constructional services, that they will find the new objects that will mitigate and that will decrease the marketing expenses, so the people will be more aware of the problems with their objects faster than on Facebook, and the clients will minimize the risks on buying the real estate. One of our main competitive advantages is that our knowledge are now being built in the construction of the public management of the construction sphere. We're also analyzing the declarations of the public officials, and we're analyzing what are their interests in some construction objects, and it's been all taken into the digital concept of the city that we've now been developing for more than a year now. That is how we're supporting the development of the market. Sectoral-wise, our main competitors that you have already seen here at this stage, we do consider them not only the competitors but also our partners, because we're going to use their knowledge for development and for our forecasts. What are the money that we need? So we get the money from the information, we're going to have the subscription payment, and we have this individual approach. The price is not that high. We will provide our clients with the knowledge, and we're monitoring your objects and the support of our team. Our team has now increased up to 76%, and we now have 5 people. In the time of the incubator and the time of the challenge, we have developed our testing and piloting project. We're now developing the services for the entrepreneurs and enterprises. We would like to have the competition for the best 10 cities or amalgamated communities that would like to deal with our system for the protection of their interests. So please do not turn our cities into casinos. Become our clients, become our subscribers, subscribe to our Facebook page. Let us develop together. Thank you. So the next person to present their project is going to be Sviatoslav Abramov, who will present the project, the transparent infrastructure. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I represent the Cost Initiative and our portal and our project, the Transparent Infrastructure Portal. The investment of infrastructure are increasing from year to year, and in the following 5 years, we're going to spend more than 300 billions of hryvnia for the road renovation. This is a lot of money, and we do believe that this money have to be spent maximally transparently and effectively. But then again, to monitor the infrastructure project is very complicated process because they're always they're very long-term projects for 3, 7 years, or even sometimes 17 years, and they have a lot of contracts that are not identified by a unified identificator on the state level, and they include different stages. But there is the infrastructure project cost that combines all of the contracts in the framework of one data set. That is how we're going to enlighten the dark spots of the infrastructure projects when we have the most of the corruption risks. That is going to provide the businesses and the civil organization not only to have a convenient instrument for monitoring, but also to get the more high-quality infrastructure projects in place. On the international level, the Coast has been working with the Open Contracting Partnership and creating one unified standard for the open data for infrastructure, and our project is going to be one of the piloting the spaces for testing the standard. Because of the technical data are very complex, then we hiring the professional engineers who are now comparing the open data with documents and who are translating it into the understandable and comprehensible information for the average citizen, so that can also help us to define the risks of the ineffective management. And together with the Ukrainian transport and road services, they're also building up, printing up the monitoring of the roads of the state significance and the decree to 835. The Ukravtodor company is now using our portal for the supply of this data set. We already have a working model in place that has almost 3,000 objects on our portal. 40% of data has been uploaded from the Prozoro API, and we are inviting the regional level, engaging the regional level for the regional administration are going to give us their data for us, and we're now getting to the Ukrenergo that is also joined the work of our portal. What do we want? We want to allocate almost 1.5 million hryvnias to create the analytical system based on the data of our portal in the closest time. We would like to have the uploading from the Data.Go UA, our project. In October, we will have tested the new standard tested at our portal, and after that, we would like to scale the work of our portal for the city infrastructure. In the end of the project, the portal is going to be given to the state, and there is interest from the Ministry of Infrastructure in place. Our team has more than 3 years of experience in monitoring the infrastructure projects. We have been collaborating closely with the Ministry of Infrastructure. Thank you. Thank you.
And so the last project, which is the 15th for today and for the second cycle today, is the project of civil monitoring of infrastructure. Volodymyr Czarnagi. Good afternoon. I'm glad to present to you here the project of the civil monitoring of infrastructure. Our team of the ADAS Center has decided to solve an issue of the poorly done repairment works of the roads with the budget costs. So, as you know, the majority of the capital repairment works are done through the Prozoro system, where the lowest price is winning, but very often the lowest price is very close to the bad quality, poor quality. As you know, the state procures a huge amount of works. Only in Lviv region for a year we have more than 5,500 objects. How does our service work? At the open base about the capital construction, we create the bridges with the sources of open data. We create visualization and create a widget which can be posted at any website of the city or region state administration. Helena, would you please show the video? This service gives an opportunity for every citizen to show what's constructed or repaired close to the place of your residence, what was procured for the school or to the polyclinic you're attending to get an access to the payment certificates and the contract you can see in the Prozoro system who is the end beneficiary, and to see if the contractor was already responsible for someone before. So the key moment is an opportunity of the person to have a complaint, to give a complaint for a certain object. We decided to create the route map between the responsible body, the controlling agency, and even the MP. So for today we've connected 8 open registers, mostly the majority of those which are accessible now in Ukraine, and our project has 2 target audiences. First of all, the citizens which get the opportunity to solve the issues of their own community close to their place of residence. This is a perfect opportunity for the journalists to get the data and to increase the quality of the infrastructure. Our second key partner is the Ministry of Regional Development and Construction, which gets and saves the budget costs and can create the certain claims with the contractors which unfortunately deliver the poor quality of work, and they increase the trust of the citizens. In March of 2018 we've signed the memorandum of cooperation with the Min region, and also we created a feedback system, and for now 2 region state administrations and 2 region centers have the test exploitation of our project. We need to find the resource for the marketing, because we can create the very cool IT system, but if we do not let the citizens know about this toolkit, it won't be full of sense. So we have an ambitious aim up till the middle of 2019 to connect 12 region state administrations. Thank you, and we have a wonderful team to implement it. Thank you. Let us support Volodymyr. And now the pitch part is over. Dear jury, please join Evgenia. She will take you to the comfortable place where you can take your decision, and all the rest we are having now coffee break, please.